Not every student graduates with a clear plan for what's next, and not every successful career begins with a 4-year degree. One Houston nonprofit is helping students discover new possibilities while connecting employers with tomorrow's workforce.
Life in my senior year, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go to college or if I wanted to go straight to like a job. I had so many opinions telling me different things. I was worried I might not end up successful in life.
Students are getting paid part-time work experience at the dealerships while getting mentored on the job site. What we're really excited about is taking that model to other industries, to healthcare, to energy, to biomanufacturing, to support the variety of sectors that Houston has.
I would say if there's another opportunity, such as a program like this, 100% take it. I can see my future now.
Joining us is BridgeYear Executive Director and Co-Founder Victoria Chen. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning.
So many kids, you know, they had this belief that you graduate from high school, you go to college, you get that degree, and you walk straight into a 6-figure job. That is not happening, as we can see over and over again for most kids. You're a former high school biology teacher and college counselor. You saw this gap early on.
I think there's such a myth that the only path to success is that 4-year degree. There's so many ways to get into the workforce, to make a good living, to support a family. And especially now with AI and the way the economy is going, we need more skilled tradespeople.
Yeah. But you know, even with that 4-year degree, it's not to say it's not valuable. What I find is so many kids will go into that 4-year degree not really knowing what they want to do. And they'll graduate with a degree, but they're like, now what do I do with it?
Exactly. I think we had a problem in the education world where we've talked to students so much about college. College is a journey, right? It is a step along your path to get a career. And so what we do at BridgeYear is we focus on the career piece. And if a college degree, if a certification is on that path to get that career, that's wonderful. But let's not say college is the final destination.
Yeah, all right. And there's a problem in Houston, as there are in a lot of cities across America. Only 20% of local graduates reach a living wage within 6 years. That's nuts.
And living wage is minimum, right? It's, can you afford your rent? Can you put food on the table? Can you afford childcare? That's not enough to really thrive. And so what we're working on are those high growth, in-demand careers that pay well and offer a student that career trajectory.
That's why we're seeing so many more kids graduate from school, and where do they go after school? Back home. Right? Okay. So employers face growing skilled worker shortages as experienced employees are retiring. That's also a big problem, because if you don't have a workforce that's ready and trained, those corporations will not set up shop here.
No, they won't. And it's especially prevalent in industries like construction and energy and infrastructure. Those are the bedrock of our entire economy, right? So if you don't have the skilled workforce to power those economies, all of us, our city is going to suffer.
Yeah. All right. So what you've done is you've kind of added another career level, if you will, not a career, another education level, if you will. Starting in middle school, you bring career exploration directly to those students.
Yes. So we work with our employer partners. They tell us, hey, in the next 10, 20 years, we foresee continued skills gaps in these particular industries, in these particular careers. We work with them to design these simulations. We bring those simulations to students, and then so students can get to try what those careers would be. And if they're interested, then we connect them to those employers.
Yeah, and the great thing too is you also take what they're learning in school and you connect it to what a job might be, right? Because we'll learn things like, okay, so why am I learning about logarithms, and what are those anyway, right? Or why am I, any of the things that you're learning about can be applied to why you're learning them. And I think that's a gap that we have as well.
Absolutely. Why are you sitting in geometry? Well, there is a reason. You do geometry in construction, right? So it's connecting those.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that because that was not my strong suit, but I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
No, but you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right. You again, helping students to try careers before choosing a path, and you help them do that in a number of ways. One is the old-fashioned apprenticeship.
Yes, apprenticeships are coming back. I mean, it's a fantastic model, right? If a student gets to earn real money and learn at the same time and get a certification, that's the best.
Yeah, but they might also decide that's not what they want to do. You know, I had the internship, but but it's a great place. That's where you want to figure that out. You don't want to figure it out after $100,000 in debt and after college and in the workplace, right?
So it de-risks it for the young person, and it also de-risks it for the employer, right? For the employer, it's like a 1 or 2 year long-term job interview. If I see this 18-year-old show up every single day, committed, ready to learn, I'm probably going to offer them that full-time job afterwards.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the other thing too is when kids will graduate from school and they say, okay, let's look at your resume. They go, well, I really don't have a resume because I don't have any experience. That counts as experience.
It's absolutely experience.
And I would imagine if you're wanting to go on to college, when you have that on your college resume, that looks good too.
It sure does.
All right.
Sure does.
Energy Expressway is a new opportunity. Explain what that is specifically.
So Energy Expressway is an initiative launched by Centerpoint Energy and Quanta Services, Greater Houston Partnership, also with a convening partner here, and BridgeYear is supporting by recruiting young people into this program. What the program is, it's a 2-week crash course for any young person interested in energy or infrastructure careers. It's launching later in August. And so anybody who's out there who has the talent, who has a desire to work hard and learn, but doesn't have the skills or the experience yet, this is the program for them.
And the great thing about that is when we say, infrastructure, 9 out of 10 people will not be able to explain to you what that means, right?
No.
Or if you say, oil and gas, energy, it's like, or energy, it's like, okay, we're the energy capital of the world, but what do we really know about it outside of maybe, plugging in a car or putting some gas in it? Right?
And that's a huge gap in our space, right? Yeah. If students don't know what they could pursue, how would they ever get there?
Yeah.
Right? So this is a program that's designed exactly for that, to give students that real world hands-on experience in the various careers they can explore in energy and infrastructure. Let's not make those words so scary, right?
Yeah. And part of that experience includes knowing how to interview.
Yes. So BridgeYear will be there. We'll train students on how to interview. We do mock interviews. We ask for volunteers to interview students real time before they sit down with an employer.
Yeah. All right. Who should apply?
So if you are a recent high school graduate, you have the work ethic, maybe you like being outdoors, you've done a lot of sports, right? You don't have to have any background in energy or infrastructure. We're really looking for young people who want to stay curious and learn.
Yeah, and seriously, there are so many jobs throughout it. I know so many people, even like somebody who's the head of the foundation that does nonprofit work, right? So there are jobs in that space as well. All right, don't miss the deadline. When is that deadline?
It is July 15th. They can go online to apply, or they can text a phone number that I think we'll share shortly.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much for filling in, recognizing and filling in that gap. If you know a recent high school graduate interested in the Energy Expressway program, text ENERGY to 832-772-8328. Again, that number is to text ENERGY to 832-772-8328. Applications must be submitted by July 15th. To learn more about BridgeYear and its programs, visit BridgeYear.org.